So actually the theoretical session will again deliver by the Jani sir. I just give some brief regarding the desiccant cooling cycles and what the experimental setup and how the desiccant cooling system will be work with the incorporate with the VCR systems. So I'm just sharing the PPT that just give some brief regarding the hybrid desiccant cooling systems. Am I audible?
Yes, clearly.
Okay, madam. Thank you.
Clear, clear.
So, as the sir has discussed about the what the desiccant systems, desiccant materials, and its applications. Uh, on the from the chronological development of the cycles, there is a Pennington cycle, recirculation cycle, Dunkel cycle, direct indirect cycles, and the sensible evaporative cooling type hybrid desiccant cooling systems. These are the different cycles in which we are compiling the two systems. This is incorporated with the sensible heat exchangers and the desiccant wheel that is directly connect with the direct indirect evaporative cooling systems. That to be further whatever the dehumidify air which is to be supplied initially from the ambient air to the desiccant wheel, and then it is to be dehumidified first, then we are supplied it to the sensible heat exchanger, and then further it is to be moved to the this direct evaporative cooler. This is the initial cycle developed by the Pennington in 1935. That this cycles further will be it is to be modified and convert it in the form of the recirculation cycles. This in the recirculation cycle we are continuously the we whatever the room air further we can recirculate to the this cycles. This is the basic cycles. Then there is a Dunkel cycle, then CNS sensible cycles, then direct indirect evaporative cooling cycles is the these the types of the desiccant cooling systems. This detailed in this cycle will be further explained by the it will be continued by the Jani sir. I just move for the through the just start the experimental setup. So this the we can get the achieving the steady state condition after 1 or 2 hours. Then we can you will be continue with the theoretical portion first. So I just explain the what the hybrid desiccant cooling systems and how it is functioning for the particularly small office buildings, or we can say for the small applications level. As I have designed the systems for the particular moderate zone climatic condition of this government and the buildings. Okay. So, moreover, from the literature, I have obtained the which of the cycle will having a highest COP and highest performance capacity. That is the recirculation cycles. This cycle I can get explained with the experimentally. So over here, this is the my cabin in which I'm sitting over here, which is 7.5 by 7.5 by 7.5 is the dimensions of this cabin. Is this 3D pictorial view of the cabin. According to the ASRE standard, we have calculated the cooling load, and as per the cooling load analysis, I obtained that around 0.5 ton of AC is required for the for particular this cabin. And over here, the similar way with the help of this SRA standard, I find out the number of tons is required, and from the cooling load calculation analysis, how much the size of this desiccant system is required. Accordingly, that I have designed these systems that will be used for the particular office. We can our main objective is what, how to minimize the power consumption or power consumption with the help of these desiccant cooling systems. Okay, this is the schematic representations of just hybrid desiccant cooling systems, in which we are putting two wheels. That one is the desiccant wheel, and one is the enthalpy wheel, or it is called the known as the heat recovery wheel. And over here from the left side, this is my office buildings. These are the number of equipment operating parameters or operating instruments is used to measuring the uh, uh, measuring the different values, or for humidity as well as the temperature in a different sections. So over here, this section is divided into two parts. One is the dehumidification section, and another is the regeneration section. So if you can see, there is in the suction fan, whatever the air will be available from the room, that is to be that is to be sucked by the suction fan, and this air which is entered from the initial air will be supplied to the, with the help of the exhaust fan, to the desiccant wheel from the in the dehumidification section. This air will be further dehumidified, and this dehumidified air which is further passing to this enthalpy wheel, and then after it is to be moving to this evaporating coils. Over here, whenever we are coupled to cycle together, is known as the hybrid cycle. So over here, one is the VCR system and another is the desiccant systems or desiccant cooling systems. Now we are providing over here whatever the air. This is the one section for the desiccant dehumidification section, and another section is the regeneration section. In high applications, just like a mall or auditorium in or a theater, over that we are providing the large scale systems that to be outside the wall. In over here, for the small capacity, we are putting over here in the inside the hall. So whatever the room air that is to be in the hall air, or it is to be ambient air, we can say, it is to be supplied initial to the enthalpy wheel. Then it is to be some part of the heat is to be exchanged by them, and then it is further supplied to the
thermal ಇದು ನಂಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತೇ ಇಲ್ಲ.
further sorry,
ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ
further just a minute. Yes, hello. Screen go ahead. Screen. Okay. So this is the cycle is the just recirculation cycle, because over here we are just not utilize the atmospheric air further. In the recirculation mode, we are the similar air we are using for the uh, uh, for the dehumidification purpose. Similarly, another cycle is the we can say it is the ventilation cycle, in which ventilation mode we are not reuse the room air. We are using the fresh atmospheric air to the for the purpose of dehumidification, and then again further cooling, and it is supplied to the room. Over here, for the measuring device, we are using Arduino based Arduino software to collecting the data, and DHT22 sensors is used to measuring the temperature and the humidity with the range of the -22 to -40 to 100 degrees centigrade. And this is the our desiccant wheel. According to the cooling load analysis, we have identified designing it, and the fabricated give the order to the industries that developed this desiccant wheel. This desiccant wheel, which is having a different geometry, just like a square, rectangular, circular, or hexagonal. which of the geometry which is having a highest dehumidification rate. According to that, we have selecting it. We can just find out that which of the desiccant geometry which is having a highest moisture collecting capacity or ability. According to that, we have designed this geometry, and this on the basis of this geometry, we designed this desiccant wheel. This is the these are the M-type electric heater we are using in the this rectangular duct, which is providing over here. In this duct, in the center point, there is it is used for the regenerating the air purpose. Similar way, we are using the dimmer electric heater control to monitoring this heat with the help of this voltage regulator dimmer electric heater control switch. Similarly, we are using the DC motor enthalpy to controlling the speed or vary the speed with the help of the speed regulating control switch. And for the inlet and outlet for this specific cabin, which is having a 2000 to 2000 RPM speed, which with 22 watts capacity of this fan. And this is the pulley mechanism that control with the help of the DC motor. The speed will be regulated with the help of this DC motor 12 ampere 12 volt 2 ampere DC motors. We are DC dimmer control switch we are using for that. And this the two wire AC energy meters to we can identify that without the desiccant systems and with the desiccant system how the our air conditioning systems will be operate and how many energy we can save it over that. And we can also maintaining the different speed by the flow rate with the help of the flow control switch, AC switch, which is controlling the speed of this fan, suction and exhaust fan. These are the VCR systems which is to be directly connected or coupled with the desiccant cooling systems. This is the experimental setups over here that to be fabricated in the workshop. Uh, Now I am moving forward for the switch over from this theoretical portion to the experimental trend side. So please, I I just move for that. So I just keep over here.
Wait for a minute. It will be coming. Voice is coming. Okay, wait for a minute.
ओके मैं म्यूट थी गया. So this is the experimental setup for hybrid desiccant cooling systems. See, we can see over here. This is the our regeneration section, and this portion is the dehumidification section. According to the cooling load calculation analysis, we have identified the desiccant wheel diameter is required as 350 mm. Now, then on the basis of that, we can design these systems in which there is in the regeneration section and in the desiccant humidification section is divided into two parts as a 200 by 400 and 200 by 400 separately. This is to be over here in the bottom side. We can see that is the VCR systems, vapor compression, refrigeration, air conditioning system, and its evaporating coil will be directly connecting over here in this in the dehumidification section. Then this is used to supply the cool air in the room. Now, this is the exhaust fan for the this is the suction fan which is supplied the atmospheric air or ambient air to the regeneration section. And over here we are putting the enthalpy wheel, and over here we are putting the desiccant wheel. This is to be separately divided in an equal part, and then we are providing a one section, creating one section in which there is a one heating element is to be provided in the regeneration unit. Over here we are putting the regeneration unit, and this all the systems is to be operated with the help of the different switches. This is the DC dimmer control switch for the enthalpy wheel, DC dimmer control switch, regulating switch for the desiccant wheel, and AC regulating switch for the heater. And similarly, there is a suction fan and exhaust fan that is to be again operated with the help of the AC regulating switch. This is our energy meter. So first I'll start the systems. The system is operated, and we can start the desiccant wheel. Yes, sir. I allow. So we can vary the speed of a desiccant wheel with the help of this dimmer regulating switch. That normally the speed of this desiccant wheel is around 9 rph to 22 rph. That we can find out which of the speed will be suitable for that with the help of a different experimentation. Similarly, we can vary the speed of this enthalpy wheel that is to be rotated in this section of dehumidification as well as the regeneration section. And over here we can set the how much the heat we can supply it over here to the regeneration section. So the concept is what the air will be used, a dehumidified air will be used to the room for the we can supply the process air. The desiccant main desiccant wheel purpose is to dehumidify air that will be minimize the consumption of the or working of the compressor. We can drop out the work of the compressor so that we can ultimately reducing the power supplied to operate the VCR systems. Right. So I just set the set the speed and operating speed as well as operating speed as well as the uh, uh, all the regulating speed, and that is to be we can identify it on the our screen that we how much the speed and how much the temperature, how much the relative humidity of the systems. So this is our uh, test room, 7.5 by 7.5 by 7.5 size, that accordingly the required the dimensions, how much the ton of the AC is required, as well as how much the uh, cooling capacity and how the size of the desiccant wheel is required. So this is our suction fan in which the cold air is to be coming out from this, passing from the dehumidification section, further uh, passing from the operating coil. Then over here, I am putting one that is the exhaust fan. While we are using the recirculation mode cycle, then on that time, that is to be a we have use this exhaust fan. Otherwise, we can shut off it from the back side and operate it at the ventilation mode. So, which of the cycle will be useful in a different, like a high humid area, we can using the recirculation mode. While in case of the moderate zone, we can using the ventilation cycle. Right? So on the recirculation mode, because the same room air that will be more helpful to reuse. To it is not required to now that to be we can measure on the Arduino display. That how the relative humidity for the all the components for the room, for the inlet of the desiccant wheel, outlet for the desiccant wheel, then inlet for the enthalpy wheel, inlet for the outlet for the enthalpy wheel, inlet for the evaporating cooling coil, and then outlet from the evaporating cooling coil for the all the sections of a dehumidification. The similarly, parallelly, the similar result we can avail. It is to be available from the regeneration section, in which we are supplying the atmospheric air to regenerate the desiccant wheel. Over there, that is the ambient air will supply to the enthalpy wheel, and then further it is to be passing over the regeneration coil, and then further it is to be passing over the desiccant wheel inlet, and then again outlet. So up to 10 to 12 reading we can directly observe over here, that how the situation will be created with during the dehumidification process and during the regeneration process, and then what the temperature will be affected, effect of the temperature, what the room temperature will be available at the inlet room, that we can identify it over here. So this is this is the just the plotting the runtime simulation will be creating over here. At the same time, we can see that what just at the same time that will be available. If we can see on the serial monitor that the different temperature for the inlet and outlet condition of the desiccant in wheel, then inlet and outlet temperature and relative humidity for the enthalpy wheel, then regeneration air desiccant inlet temperature, regeneration air room inlet temperature, that to be a variant identified. Now, for that, from this, we can identify how much time is required to take a steady state condition as well as what the power for this VCR systems. As the sir has already explained, there's the basic fundamentals that says that to be minimize the up to 50%, reducing the 50% of the power consumption of these VCR systems, so that on the basis of that we can also minimize the or reducing the what the refrigerant materials, materials is to be consumed or refrigerant is to be consumed for this desiccant technology for this VCR systems. That this cooling system will help to if we can providing this system technology for small scale as well as the large scale. Now I switch over here. This system will be steady state after half an hour. So it just started over just right now around 10 to 15 minutes is gone. Now I just request to Dr. DB Jani sir, they can continue with the theoretical trend. Then we will move forward further that the system will be steady state condition. We can achieving the standard comfort condition of the room. We can set the room temperature as the 20 to 15 to 20 degrees centigrade in between that, and the relative humidity is around 50%. That we can achieving with the help of these systems. Thank you very much. Now I switch over here. Then we can continue with the after 1.5 hours. Then till now the Jani sir will be continue with the theoretical portion. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kiran sir, for explaining the system in a great way. So again, we may now continue with the fundamentals of the study. Now I request my computer cooperators, Professor Bhatt sir and Dixit sir, to allow me to share my PPT to meet me organizer. Yes, sir. Please convey them message to make me organizer so that I can continue. Okay, sir. Yes, sir. So friends, we continue. If you have any question with regarding to the topic to be discussed here now, we may have get it discussed in the question paper answer session. Yes, sir. Dilip Kumar, Dr. Dilip Kumar sir, any question?
No, sir. No, sir. Till now, no. Actually, I have joined.
Pick up it till the end, and in the question answer session, we may get
Yes,
in detail to solve your query. Now I request my colleague coordinators to allow me to be the presenter. Dixit sir and Bhatt sir, please allow me so that I can share my PPT to continue with the presentation again. Your setup is now running condition steady state, so that after half an hour, till Bhabur sir will come, we will have to find changes in the reading. Now my PPT sharing option available. I can share my PPT. My voice is clearly audible. Please confirm, and the PPT is available on your screen.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So again, we have to come to the topic we got discussed. There are different types of desiccant cooling systems as per the type of the material as well as the kind of system to be used. One is the solid desiccant based cooling system. In solid desiccant based cooling system, we have the different configuration as per we may have classified the system, whether fixed bed, axial bed, radial flow, etc. kind of the position of wheel to be installed in the dehumidifier. And another one, we may have the liquid desiccant cooling system. As per the chamber shape and design, we may have a rotating absorber, we may have a spray chamber, or may have the packaged bed type or a spray coil type. In hybrid desiccant cooling system, we may have a solid desiccant and liquid desiccant cooling system will be combined into some useful configuration so as to meet the required application criteria. As per the type of material to be used, we may have a silica gel kind of system, molecular sieve, activated alumina type, and as per application, we may design it for the pharmaceutical, whether chemical, electronics, etc. All that application require a dry atmosphere, because whenever you brought some new mobile, some computer, you see that some globules of silica gel in some packet will be available along with the purchased item. The purpose of the same is to keep the environment to be dry. Otherwise, minute circle available with that component can get short circuited. Most of time that happen during the monsoon season when ambient humidity is to be very high. And system applicability. System applicability will be in the different continents, starts from North America to Asia Pacific also, yes, for various requirements and application. Desiccant. Hello? 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 Desiccant dehumidification is simply adsorb the moisture from the water laden air. Okay, so whenever moisture laden water vapor comes into contact with the desiccant, as I explained you Dalton's principle earlier, desiccant surface in its dry form having very low vapor pressure, and this moisture laden air having very high vapor pressure. So itself air travel from higher vapor pressure to lower pressure vapor pressure desiccant surface, and the same can get condensed because of affinity of the moisture with the desiccant surface. So in that way, we can reduce the relative humidity as far as the kind of moisture to be absorbed by the desiccant material. So this process on psychrometric chart to be shown as theoretically isenthalpic. So whatever may be the conversion of moisture into water droplets condensed over to the surface of the desiccant will convert the latent heat load, means that proportion of water vapor to be reduced at the end. So ultimately the dehumidifier nothing to do anything but to convert latent heat into the sensible heat. It is very easy for us to handle the sensible heat as compared to the latent heat. As we see in the case of vapor compression system, whenever you want to remove the moisture from water, you may have to decrease the temperature of air up to its dew point temperature, so that minimum temperature is to be required at the evaporative coil, and so far compression pressure should be increased. So in such a way, we may have the dehumidification to be produced by desiccant is don't do anything, itself convert latent heat load of the air conditioned air into the sensible heat, and it is very easy to handle sensible heat load by the cooling. So there are different desiccant material. As far we may divide the system into two categories: solid desiccant cooling system and liquid desiccant cooling system. These are the list of solid desiccants: triethylene glycol, lithium chloride solution, etc., to be used in the liquid state, to be called as a liquid desiccant. In solid desiccant, the system is to be termed as adsorption. Water can collected over only to the surface area of the desiccant material, not to be take part internally through the rest of the structure. And in the absorption cooling, the liquid desiccant is primarily associated in with the collection of water chemically mixing with throughout the structure of the surface of the desiccant. So by that means whenever we got a term adsorption means a solid desiccant cooling, and whenever we come across to the term absorption means the liquid desiccant cooling. So all materials are not desiccant material. There are certain characteristics to be required by the material to term it as a desiccant material, to be characterized as a desiccant material. Some specific material available in the nature, as well as some deduced and man-made materials to be categorized as a desiccant material. So first one prime purpose and availability of the desiccant is that it should have a low surface vapor pressure under its dry condition. So wherever desiccant is dry, its surface vapor pressure is low, and whatever may be the moisture available with the air in a humid condition have a higher vapor pressure because of increased proportion of moisture. So there is a transmission of moisture from a air to the desiccant surface because of pressure difference naturally by a Dalton's law. So far moisture from the air is to be absorbed by the desiccant material under its dry condition. Whenever the conditions become saturated, more and more desiccant to be absorbed by the surface. At that time you need to it regenerate. Dried out desiccant. जब कपड़ों सुखावू पड़े, हमें अपना कपड़ा सुखाना होता है ना इस तरह से. You might have to provide a hot air. Hot air having still low pressure as compared to the moisture laden vapor pressure of the desiccant surface. So that reverse process will take place. High vapor pressure of desiccant surface will move the low vapor pressure of hot air passing over to the surface to move moisture back into the air from the desiccant surface, and from wet condition desiccant surface to be now available to be in its dry condition. That is how the moisture to be travel from the humid air to the desiccant surface, and how can we regenerate by the provision of hot air passing over to the surface of wetted desiccant to make it regenerate to be use it continuously in the cycle. High moisture absorption capacity. All materials may not be desiccant. Desiccant itself naturally having the affinity absorptivity with the desiccant, and the pressure is the driving force thermodynamically what we discussed by the Dalton's law. So a good desiccant can have a high moisture absorption capacity. Under its dry weight, it can absorb 10,000% of its weight to absorb the moisture. It should have a low heat mass capacity. That are the desirable characteristics to be required for the material to be in category of desiccant. Now, what will be the principle of desiccant? First of all, we may provide moisture-laden process air to flow through the dehumidifier. So when air flow through the dehumidifier gets drier, what the principle I have explained you earlier, and then it can get sensibly cooled by passing over to the evaporative cooler, and at the end cooled air is to be available at the end can send to the comfort conditioning. And as desiccant gets saturated over to dehumidification process is over, you might have to regenerate it by passing certain regenerator, and in this way cycle continuously work by alternate and continuous flow of process and regeneration air across to the area division of dehumidifier. So first of all, we might have to discuss working of liquid desiccant dehumidifier. By its name, desiccant, whatever may be lithium chloride, lithium bromide, calcium chloride, triethylene glycol, etc. desiccant materials are to be used under its liquid state. Okay, and its process chemically called absorption. Desiccant surface throughout taken in moisture and chemically go some changes. So here two main compartments require some tank called absorber and regeneration column. So absorber is dehumidifying column, and regeneration column functions to separate out moisture from the you can say weak desiccant solution coming over to regeneration column. First of all, whether the returner room air or outside air according to system configuration is provided to the bottom of the absorber cooling tower. From the top, strong desiccant solution is to be flow over to that moist humid air, so that when this strong desiccant comes into contact with this humid air, will absorb moisture from it. And as you know, whenever water added to some chemical is become mild from the strong. So at the end of the tank bottom, we might have to find the weak desiccant solution. Remaining dried air gets dehumidified and can passes over to the air for further conditioning. and rest mild, or you can say weak solution of dehumidifier is useless because of the reason that it cannot absorb further moisture into it as it reaches to its saturation state, so that it can pass to for reactivation in the regeneration column. In regeneration column, from the top we may have to flow the weak desiccant solution, and from the bottom we may have to pass hot air, can be termed as a scavenger or reactivation air. So when this weak desiccant solution flow down, can contact into upcoming regeneration air, which will be available at very high temperature. Pressure is the driving force, my friends. Here the temperature of air is 25. Here the temperature of air is over 100. So that desiccant having the low high surface vapor pressure and hot air having the low vapor pressure. So moisture lose the friendship of desiccant and now combining with the hot air, and hot air can be in exhaust form removing from the top of the regeneration tower, and whatever may be the desiccant collected at the bottom can be of a strong desiccant solution, can be provided to the absorber column, and in this way, in this channelized continuously cycle in operation, some heater, cooler, heat exchangers were provided in the desiccant cooling, so as it can continuously working into the cycle. Now, there are certain limitations of the liquid desiccant cooling. One is the corrosion, because desiccant has to work under its liquid state, can corrode internally the surface of whether the absorber or regeneration column. Some carryover, anyhow, any type of you can say carryover devices you are fitted over to the absorber column, but some minded fumes of the desiccant to be passes into the conditioned space. So this type of system is not subjected for human comfort conditioning, but for industrial purpose it is a good. And another one, crystallization. Sometimes during low temperature conditions, desiccant get crystalline and can stitch internally through the tower column and can get should replace. So this type of liquid desiccant cooling is encountered this type of problem. So we have the another option is called the solid desiccant cooling. So solid desiccant cooling, as we discussed prior in the principal case, we have the cooling, sorption and desorption operation. There are different kinds of material available in the nature, can be of activated charcoal, silica gel, zeolite, calcium chloride, molecular sieve and metal silicate. Some of the deduced polymer can also be researched and invented from the mankind that have the different regeneration rate nearly to be ambient conditions. So desiccant are the materials having the high affinity with the moisture because of vapor pressure difference and Dalton's law theory, what I have explained. And the material availability may be in a solid or a liquid state, and as far as the desiccant may be used. So this desiccant having its different types, name, chemical composition, and it requires a different temperature for to make it efficiently regeneration, reactivation. So according to the kind and temperature and the type, as far as mass of the desiccant, as I mentioned you earlier, I requested my friend Bhatt sir and Dixit sir to admit whatever may be participant request will put. So this will show you the comparison of the different desiccant, how the percent humidity where and how you can find out with that capacity changes in the different desiccants. So from the graph we can see that silica gel give you the best result among all the described desiccant. So this is also show you comparison between the performance in terms of absorption rate with the relative humidity for compared to the clay, molecular sieve and silica gel. So here also you find silica gel to be better under high humid conditions. So this is the one of the pictorial view of the construction of the dehumidifier. In the schematic, you might see that total circumferential area of the desiccant itself are divided by putting divider in between. That may be process air side and another will be regeneration air side. So purpose of that should be working continuously in a cycle to make a constant dehumidification of the air. And once the air to be set for internally sensing dehumidifier instrument will put off and put off operation according to the requirement, whether the dehumidification is required or not, as it collected with the electric motor and some control attached with it for its operation. So there may be different configuration, 50-50, 25-70, and you can say 75-25. But out of that, almost type 75% of wheel area to be provided to the process air, as well as 25% area to be provided for the flow of reactivation air. And both air stream reversibly not get mixed with each other, but still then some percent, 5% to 7-8% air get mixed wherever this wheel is travel at very slow speed. Speed of the wheel, as Babur sir mentioned earlier, is very low. In 1 hour, it can just turn 15 to 20 its rotation. This is because some timing link is to be required for to make air dehumidifier. If you increase the wheel speed, then the rate of dehumidifier will go drastically down. Some temperature of hot air to be achieved by passing the reactivation air prior to flow through the dehumidifier through the primary heater, or you can say electric heater, some solar based air heating coils. So there are diversified sources of energy to put and find the reactivation air available. So there are different methods dehumidification. Either you can achieve it by the dew point or by getting temperature, what mentioned in SOPs and cooling. Cooling versus desiccant. So all that we discussed primarily while setting up the discussion with the introduction to the desiccant. So that is condensation versus option, how many humidity range the same is to be work, and this is how desiccant cooling cycle work. Process 1 to 2 will show you sorption, dehumidification of air, 2 through 3 desorption, heating of the desiccant so that it can regenerate it with efficient, and 3-1 cooling of desiccant, it will be returned to its initial temperature and pressure. This is also a schematic how you can show inclusion of one bore wheel in addition to the rotary dehumidifier. That is called heat recovery wheel, air to air heat recovery wheel. So here you find first air at a state point 1 may have to pass through the matrixed desiccant laden matrixed rotary dehumidifier, then it has to pass through the sensible wheel. What happen if sensible heat is absent? You will have to pass a air to the evaporative cooler under hot condition, and here your requirement between state point 7 to 6 is to be hot air and here to be cooled air, so that partially load on evaporative cooler to be reduced. This is because when air is adsorbed and available to the state point 2 is partially hot because of addition of latent heat of condensation while getting out absorbing moisture in the dehumidifier. So this wheel is just matrixed wheel, some metal matrix available with the wheel. So when this wheel gets rotated, partially flow of air to be divided into 2 channels. One is the area section for the process flow, and another one is the area section for the reactivation air. So while this matrix come into contact with this process airflow gets heated and give its heat to the its reactivation air source. So here we are getting some ameliorated, or you can say increased warm temperature at a state point 7. So amount of heat to be supplied by the heater can be saved. Here simultaneously at point 3, amount of heat to be rejected to the regeneration section. So partially cooled air will be available, and that's why duty of evaporative cooler can be partially reduced. The amount of temperature to be handled partially reduced. So this wheel is known as a heat recovery, exchanging heat between process air hot side to the reactivation cold side. So we are conserving the energy. So it increases the efficiency of cycle in way by reducing amount of heat absorption or extraction. There are various desiccant cooling cycle based on which configuration is to be made. Pennington cycle, open air source. You can take air from ambient and exhaust it to the ambient. Scientist named Pennington invented first this cycle about the desiccant cooling system, and direct evaporative coolers are to be used here. Some of the air after passing through sensible heat exchanger may bypass according to volume. Air flow rate may be 75-25, so partially some of the air may bypass. Another one is the recirculation system. In recirculation system, return room air may have been passed at the inlet of desiccant for the dehumidification purpose, and the same is to be supplied as a conditioned air to the test room. And ambient air may be used in a reactivation state. Here you see return air is from room, but here it is from ambient. It is a recirculation cycle, and the same is provided exhaust at the end. So what will be pictorial view? You might have to absorb heat from the ambient. First it passed to the desiccant wheel, then to be passed to the heat recovery wheel by passing through the direct evaporative cooler and then to the room by a supply fan. Similarly, here in reactivation sign, first is passed to the cooler, then to the recovery wheel. Heater will make it temperature available necessary for the desorption of the kind and type of desiccant used in the dehumidifier, and yet last is exhaust to the atmosphere. It's called ventilation cycle. Ventilation cycle means any cycle open up to the atmosphere. Now recirculation cycle. Recirculated air from the building is to be used for to provide it along with some mixing percentage with the ambient, and then it can return a room. And in a reactivation side, ambient air is to be used and the same is exhausted to the open atmosphere. So how we can compare both the ventilation and recirculation system? So there are some benefits of ventilation system, such as it require low reactivation temperature, but meantime whatever may be temperature availability in case of recirculation cycle will be lower as compared to the ventilation cycle. There are certain modification in the Dunkel and recirculation cycle to be suggested by the Dunkel. Is called two kinds of heat exchanger to be used, sensible heat exchanger 1 and 2, so that it can increase the effectiveness of the cycle further as compared to earlier two cases. Another improvement to be made by the DING by using both direct and indirect evaporative cooler, so as to increase the effectiveness further in the way you can say about ambient humidity is to be high. Then sense cycle, in that we have to provide intermediate cutout for the regeneration, and by using the cooling tower for us to supply the recirculation air partially from the supplier. So if we compare a different cycle on a common log scale with the same kind of condition, you find some cycles will be better in some conditions, while other cycle will have provide you under the another similar conditions. So desiccant cooling cycle, temperature is partially rise at the end of adsorption because of the addition of latent heat of condensation. Ultimately, it can convert the latent cooling heat load of the cycle into the sensible cooling load. Temperature rises directly proportional to the amount of moisture to be removed from the air. If the greater moisture to be removed, greater temperature is to be achieved. And this drier air leaves the humidifier may be slightly warmer, but theoretically may be available at a constant enthalpy process. Comparison with cooling coil. So there are different kinds of configuration for the design of desiccant cooling systems. Some systems may use 100% recirculation, wherever harsh ambient, very high temperature to be available at a very high humidity. Just 1 minute. So in that condition, you might have to use a complete room air, dehumidified and gets cooled and to be provide the room. Some of the air may be definitely bypassed, need not require that much humidity to control it within the specified range. In some case, you might have to use some mixing, some outdoor air and some recirculated air can get mixed and supplied in this form to the dehumidifier. Sometimes you may use a pre-cooling to control the temperature prior to dehumidification, to control the rate of dehumidification. Sometimes you may use after cooler. Sometimes you may use both pre-cooling and after cooling according to need and requirement of the ambient. Shows you different methods of dehumidification by the pre-cooling or dehumidification, pre-cooling, dehumidification, after cooling, and dehumidification and after cooling. That can be shown here in this graph. Different graph is available. So with the desiccant cooling, energy saving can be possible up to 40 to 60% with a better comfort. Better comfort means that you have certain mixing to be possible with the room recirculation air or either you can say of ambient air. Compressor capacity to be reduced to 50 because of the downsized cooling unit may be used. Condenser coil size may be reduced to 70%. Lower indoor air volume, less fan energy, and whatever may be control of RH is independently of the temperature, and it can control ventilation air all year round with enthalpy recovery and to provide you more cleanliness and to maintain indoor air quality. So this is some example with which you can judge how much temperature to be available at the different state point in the cycle. Suppose we have to take example, initially we have the temperature 32 and humidity 40. Okay. And at the end we may rise the temperature and after enthalpy will it got further reduced, and after passing through evaporator can be reduced to comfort design condition, that is 16. So similar type of varying conditions to be available you on the reactivation side. So you can have exact dimensions of the parameters to be used while processing the air through the different channel, process air or whether to the reactivation air. So this is the three-dimensional view, how you can first in the process air by passing through filters and fan to the dehumidifier. Dehumidifier can be rotated with some drive motor, and its area can divide it into process air section. This much 75% area will be of process air section, and remaining this small 25% will be reactivation air area, and in between certain channelization is made. So it prevents any flow of either air side or reactivation side in between. And after passing through heater, reactivation air passes through the reactivation area and dissolve the desiccant and can exhaust it to the atmosphere. So this is the different kinds of thermal energy to be used for the cooling in different kinds of cycles, whether adsorption or absorption. So there are, as I mentioned earlier, diversified source for the reactivation heat to be demanded by the dehumidifier. So here sometimes what happens, there is a large amount of condenser heat available in a big chilling plant coupled with the conventional vapor compression based refrigeration class. In that case, for reactivating the dehumidifier, you may use this condenser heat for the energy conservation point of view. So it is also a kind of source activation. Sometimes solar energy can be harvested by use of solar collector and some auxiliary heater under windy or you can say cloudy atmosphere. At that time storage tank will collect the hot water, and through liquid to air heating coil we may provide the same to the humidifier for the process heating. Similar types, IC engine in a huge diesel generator set are available, so that it can also a good source to provide a large waste heat from the diesel exhaust to use it in air-to-air heating coil for to provide the reactivation regeneration purpose in the dehumidifier. This is also a solar powered system. So this table will give idea about the kind of heat available as well as what will be the drop in the humidity in the dehumidifier in terms of gram moisture to be adsorbed to the kg of dry air supply. So textile will you have some temperature, diesel generating set will give you jacket water or exhaust gases having that much temperature available. Fuel cell kind technology, condenser reactivation heat will provide you somehow some temperature. So you find different ranges of drop in the humidity in gram per kg of the dry air supply in the various applications. So this gives you the comparison among the various kinds of system on a common psychrometric scale, that is conventional system, simple desiccant system, or a hybrid desiccant system. So this table will explain you what will be the availability of evaporative temperature or electrical COP or COP on primary base, vapor compression plus desiccant cooling system. If you use vapor compression plus desiccant plus evaporative cooler, in that case you find highest COP over 4.08, and rest of the parameters you see here, evaporative temperature may go succeedingly high to be about 11, and while in dedicated VC it is around 3 point something. Okay, so that will give you a lot more power saving in the hybrid system. So this is the bare desiccant to be used. In that you find certain matrix here. That matrix is to be laden with the desiccant materials, and its matrix is of the same size 0.1 to 0.01 millimeter in the ranges according to type and application. Just with a needle it can hardly be possible to across it. Okay, so that maximum mass of the desiccant to be covered under the matrix fluid, so that maximum adsorption will be possible with the minimum area. क्योंकि जो आपका एयर डिसॉल्व होने वाला है that greatly depends upon the mass of the desiccant. यदि मास ज्यादा रहेगा वो उनके 10,000 टाइप्स ग्राम वॉल्यूम मॉइस्चर एब्सॉर्ब करेगा. तो छोटी सी छोटी जगह में, जैसे अब बड़े सिटी में बिल्डिंग बनते हैं ना, 15 मंजिले का, 20 मंजिले का, 50 मंजिले का, so similarly with the smaller space greater desiccant materials are required to be allowed from inside the fluid, so that maximum adsorption possible with the minimum area. So this show you the operation of evaporative coolers versus VCR desiccant hybrid cooling systems. This is the typical application. Supermarket, large surface area. Vapor compression based plants cannot give you a good ventilation air as far as energy efficiency or diversified sources for reactivation air is possible. Theaters, hospitals were large. It is not generally opted for small area. Okay. Hotels, office building, hospital. Hospital में क्या है भाई? सबसे ज्यादा आपको वेंटिलेटेड एयर का जरूरत रहता है, फ्रेश एयर का जरूरत रहता है. So desiccant itself will provide you the greater flexibility for to provide ventilated air. So all that are the application like library, etc., where this kind of system to be used under greater energy effectiveness. This is hybrid system. You can couple desiccant dehumidifier with small vapor compression systems. So if alone dedicated vapor compression required the size of 3 ton, your 0.5 ton vapor compression unit be suitable along with desiccant integration. So size be drastically reduced. This is the address of different desiccant manufacturers across to India under your demand and need as far as certain applications may concern. Comparison of adsorption type as well as absorption type. So this is the simulation kind of things to be used, the working of rotary dehumidifier. Wet process air in pass through the dehumidifier, dry process air may be taken out. Can be used for further process cooling or conditioning. Reactivation air first taken in heater and then achievable temperature for desorption may pass the dehumidifier in the reactivation side and exhaust air may be taken out. That is the internal view of the dehumidifier, in which this component you can say horizontally placed desiccant wheel, some belt and driving mechanism is to be used as far as certain limits switches to operate the desiccant, some partition seal used to avoid mixing of exchanging process and reactivation air within the dehumidifier. So this is how dehumidifier can be coupled to another adsorption sector kinds of system. Fluid shown to be of a honeycomb shape. You can say triangular or sinusoidal kinds of things. So different research is going on which kind of matrix will perform better. What will be the description of bed, how the moisture will be removed. Size of the desiccant according to need requirement as well as per the application. So here you find the size of the desiccant may be high, above the height of the human being, as per requirement it to be high. This is the you can say process air flow rate, or this will be reactivation. So you can adjust your area ratio as per need accordingly. What will be the rate of regeneration temperature can affect the dehumidification rate can be explained here in this diagram. If you increase reactivation temperature, most of time whatever may be gram moisture adsorption can be increased. This is the simulation diagram for the solid desiccant hybrid cooling. Kinds of colors used. One is the blue color representing the process air. Red color will give you representation of reactivation air, and black color conventional flow of refrigerant to the VCR cycle. So first of all, at state point 1, humid air from room may be taken in for dehumidifying. Then it passed to the heat recovery wheel, and at the end state point 4 conveyed back to the room by maintaining its temperature. So here prime purpose of this VCR cooling coil is to control temperature, so can be available with the smaller size, and refrigerant itself flow through the circuit as per our idea available for the VCR cycle. In reactivation side, ambient air may be taken first in heat recovery wheel to primary preheat the air prior to flow. In heater, we may have to achieve the temperature to be required for disruption of the desiccant, and through desiccant wheel it may have passed and flown to the exhaust. So this is how the flow of process air, reactivation air, or either the refrigerant if VCR unit integrated in hybrid cycle to be used. Now here the speed of desiccant wheel is very small, 20 rph per hour, and heat recovery wheel is generally 1 rpm or up to 20 rpm depending upon the kind of application. These are the various pictorial view of the measuring instrument. Some temperature humidity transmitter to constantly monitoring variation in the temperature and humidity within the different state point of the system. Some pressure transmitter to know the pressure drop of the flow of air across the dehumidifier. Air velocity transmitter to measure the flow of air. Humidistat to control the humidity inside the room, whether the humidity is to be achieved. Humidistat will give signal to the sensors of motor to close off and to shut off the wheel. Some thermostat to control the temperature monitoring. On achievable temperature range, will put off the cooling coil by put off the fans connected for the conditioned air supply. Some Macibus data scanner to be used for primary purpose of runtime simulation data during the working. Energy meter can measure the electricity consumption for the system. Which are the performance parameters? COP based on electrical will be on amount of heat to be transferred to the amount of energy to be utilized. Some amount of cooling, some dehumidifier effectiveness will be calculated. Some amount of reactivation heat based on the amount of enthalpy exchange prior and after regeneration air supply can be calculated. So what will be the effect of regeneration air on the temperature to be in COP for whether the lithium chloride or composite kinds of desiccant? What the case is, we observe lithium chloride will be better, but beyond 100%, anyhow you increase reactivation air temperature may not be in favor of rising the COP. So the effect of air flow rate over to the COP. So some curvature you might see here across to 900, it will give you better, and then the graph will be parallel. Effect of RP means regeneration to process air ratio. How much ratio for the regeneration? As far as process air, you might have to provide for a dehumidifier. So that ratio will give you the different distinction dehumidification rate in terms of gram per kg will have been tabulated here. So performance of energy recovery wheel, enthalpy recovery wheel can be shown here for the summer conditions or whether to the winter conditions. These are the different benefits of desiccant cooling system or VCR system. It is used particularly whenever latent load is very high. It can displace some harmful refrigerant responsible for global warming and ozone layer depleting. It can increase the energy efficiency and to be resulted ultimately higher indoor air quality. Maintenance is simpler as it operates to the independence. Ambient temperature, it can be independent control of temperature and humidity, non-corrosive and absorptivity of water, because we are not using any condensed water. Most of time whenever you go to ATM, you find some wetted area, some leaky faulted drain pipe, etc. give to number of problems for fungi infection, etc. Okay, it can judiciously to be coupled with the cogeneration systems to provide larger flow rate, and it can be cost effective when used for low grade thermal heat energy systems. So these are the various applications to be start from medical facility to food industry. For to preserve the food, it is necessary that in packet drier atmosphere should be there. So in that case, dehumidified air can be produced successfully by the use of this desiccant based dehumidifier in the large industry packaging. Pharmaceutical also, wherever you brought some drug from the medical store, it is clearly mentioned over to its surface that it can pick up only to be stored in the dry place. This is how the drug quality can get affected during store by exposing to the high humidity, because humidity ultimately presented to the water in it condensed from. Some defense system also demanded some coating like operation to be in a dehumidified conditions. So bacteria will not sustain if humidity will be available in certain range, as we see prior. When humidity is below 50, bacterial infiltration will be like that. And here you see in this PPT, whenever humidity crosses 50% RH, then you find greater infectants to be available with the moist air. Drying out building. So it is very necessary to have available dried building so as to keep it color, cosmetic, etc. Available with the building, furniture, etc. Corrosion. To prevent corrosion, it is necessary that exposed environment will be dried or dehumidified. So in that condition, what will be the surface exposed in under 50% RH, or whenever RH may be increased over to 50%. Handling the hygroscopic materials. Telling you earlier about the salt. Whenever humidity is below 50, it can easily get its flowability, and whenever humidity is greater than 50%, again we find its lower flowability. Converted itself into paste form. Electronics. In electronics item, some circuits get open or short circuit at availability of water particles in the air in the excess moist condition. Mold. Some mold and fungus formation will be prevented if we kept humidity below 70% to preserve the furniture and some antique items. Odor is one of the concern whenever ambient humidity is to be high. Mostly we find that problem to be serious in case summer conditions when ambient humidity is. So that by controlling the humidity, ultimately you can control the odor in the range. Product drying operation, dehumidifying is one of the great concern to maintain the low relative humidity is for faster process. Problems with the moisture. So that are all the listed types of them to be available with the conventional evaporative systems. So some of the part intentionally to be kept at primarily level with regarding to the operation. Now, history of desiccant cooling. First of all, in the year 1935, my voice is audible. Hello, anyone please reply. My assistant, what sir?
Yes, yes.
Okay, very good, very good.
Yes, sir.
Because internet having a severe problem, whether I am going to speak and whether it is connected, I don't have, because in my screen it is only PPT to be available. Okay, thank you. Now the brief history about the solid desiccant cooling. Initially the idea of this kind of dehumidification to be given out by Hossain in 1935. It gives only theoretical concept. Based on the 1955, Neil Pennington patented first desiccant cooling cycle to be in very primary condition. Then John Dunkel, 1965, invented first molecular sieve-based dehumidifier, and then we have to is the modern era of this dehumidifier. The photograph of here is scientist Carl Munter. His Munter company is world-based largest dehumidifier supplying industry nowadays. He invented first concept of hybrid desiccant cooling in the year 1960. On later on, J. Zurinak in 1982 simulated desiccant cooling system using trances, some of the components, solar, etc., and give born to the invention of trances software. 1992, Pesaran used the use of solar integrated desiccant cooling. This is the about BIS history. These are the timeline. Which are the mainly inventions to be took place by the various inventors across the globe about generation by generation, decade by decade, how there is the history of desiccant and what are the primarily the mark to be by the remarkable work. So, what should be the kind of idea to analyze the system? One method is to be experimental investigation, whether you go for numerical design of your problem, go for transit simulation of the system, you either go for artificial neural network kinds of modeling or go with the thermodynamic analysis, second law analysis, availability kinds of things. So this will be the experimental setup. You find different components both in the top view as well as in the front view. So some of the bypass channel is to be provided wherever dehumidifier is not in the operation. At that time we may have to open manually the bypass. Rest of cooling mechanism, data scanner, etc. are the things to be provided as here in the photographic view. So this kind of test room we may have to determine the cooling load in a sensible way or either calculation with the latent cooling load. What will be the cooling load calculation is by cooling load factor CLF method. What will be the design comfort conditions to be chosen for the load calculation. Uncertainty analysis to be done to calculate what are the instrumental errors to be found. This is the summary of previous literature work to be done by the different researchers across the globe in the way in terms of materials of desiccant, dimensions of the dehumidifier to be used, various speeds at which the operation took place, reactivation temperatures to be decided by the different researchers, how much volume flow alternately for the process and reactivation here, and processor inlet conditions and achievable outlet in terms of COP. So mathematically model can be designed by considering a unit area in terms considering its radius, its angle, thickness as well as the channel temperature and humidity. Another way you can determine the model in a trances, whatever may be the kind of system you mathematically describe. So this transit studio, we have combined different models here. Type 6 at 3 will denoted you mathematically the dehumidifier, then heater may be there, some heat recovery wheel may be there, conventional air conditioning is to be type 651 and room load to be 619. Ambient file to be collected the data for the particular place onto the earth, because in earth we have the various weather stations. So for particular day, for the particular hour, for the particular minute and for the particular second, we have the data to be available as the TMY file. So for particular place, you can simulate the system, and rest of psychrometric calculation can be called from type 338. Some computer and printer will enable you to achieve your results in a printable format. Some fans are to be provided prior and after for the circulation of reactivation and process layer. So this kind of simulation graph to be available for the selecting cooling period to be start from March to September for the temperature as well as for the humidity. So with that you can calculate for the which day and which hour of the year you can have available higher temperature, and according to that you can adjust your system practically or your test system practically for the different. Suppose I design my experimental setup here at India and I wanted to know or to check it for the Japan. So the same can be possible by calling the TMY, typical meteorological year file, for that ambient conditions of Japan. So simulation result you can predict and simulate your system to know its performance in the different conditions. Performance of the desiccant wheel model. So you can model your system artificial neural network based on some primarily data available with you and training your model with that data. So out of 100% data available, you can have 80% data to be available for to test your training your model, and rest of 20% will be available for test your model. So for a given target, different outputs will be available to give you the different R ratio. So here we may have the temperature, humidity ratio, volume flow rate for the reactivation and process area, and output may be available in form of effectiveness, how much T regeneration. So different layer is to be opt for the parameters considered: input layer, some hidden layer, and output layer in artificial neural network. It is a broad topic to be discussed, but with the limit of time, we may not got much into the detail of same. Thermodynamic analysis of the desiccant cooling can also be made with exergy analysis. So this two-spaced example will give you the example of energy, entropy, and exergy. So useful form available at the end is known as exergy. Rest of the transform will be of entropy, and available still is called the energy. So how much energy is available with the system in exergy form to be practically in a usable form, and thermodynamic performance in terms of the second law analysis will give you the exergy destructions in the different components of the desiccant system. So here A and B diagram will give you different destructions read in the dehumidifier, evaporative cooler, and you achieve the how much exergy efficiency for the same. So from the examining of component, you find most of the exergy destructions to be carried out into the heat source as well as the desiccant wheel. So if you design it in such a way that irreversibilities can be reduced, because most of time conventional desiccants such as silica gel, molecular sieve, metal silicate, etc. demanded to be a high reactivation temperature to be in range 16 to 1800 or more than that as far humid atmosphere is concerned. So some polymer based desiccant nowadays under the research will regenerate at nearly ambient temperature to be around 45 to 65 degrees centigrade, so that this exergy destructions in the heat source as well as dehumidifier can be avoided in a great way, so as to improve the exergy performance, or you can say running cost can be reduced in a great way. So how the desiccant cooling systems can be compared with another conventional cooling systems? Different overall exergy efficiency will be available, and desiccant cooling systems can give you the better as compared most of the remaining one. Conclusion: performance of desiccant wheel is the prime component, as it makes a large amount of energy to be used for the purpose of reactivation. So regeneration temperature as increases, loads completely get separated, and thereby performance of the cooling coil to be used around improvement in the 17 to 80%. So all that we discussed earlier. So the potential contribution in improving the indoor air quality, cost and energy saving as well as environment protection makes it attractive at a time where depletion of energy resources and environmental degradation are the worldwide concerns. So it will give you amelioration of indoor air quality brought by it removing the pollutants and contaminants in the environment friendly nature make this desiccant cooling to be an appropriate technology because it has to go through some of the other well-known books available for the further study of the desiccant cooling to be available in the Springer publications. So I thank you all of the participants to listen me passionately over an hour. And now I request my colleague, Professor Kiran Bhabor sir, to join for a further practical session. So please wait for a while till the Bhabor sir will join the session. I requested all of you to stay in the session, and after Bhabor sir's remaining presentation will go on completing, we may again return to our last phase, that is called question answer session. Please friend be in the meeting. Just 5 minutes, Bhabor sir will start his presentation. Yes, Bhabur sir is available in the bank, so that's why some emergency work. We may be continue now with the question answer session. Whatever may be the setup explained, or either the you can say about any kinds of question to you with my question, you can definitely मैं सब पार्टिसिपेंट को क्वेश्चन आंसर के लिए आमंत्रित करता हूं। जो भी सेटअप आपने देखा, प्रेजेंटेशन सुना, आपकी कोई क्वेश्चन वगैरह हो, देन यू माइट हैव टू डिस्क्राइब इट विथ मी। माय वॉइस इज ऑडिबल?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Good afternoon, sir. If I may ask a query.
Yes, madam. Please speak.
Sir, in your presentation, you had shown Massibus data scanner
Yes,
utilization. Yes, sir. So, sir, if you could just elaborate as to what it was used for.
Yes. Massibus data scanner having the different channels, just wise some of the other data scanner available. So you may put it its velocity transmitter, pressure drop, etc. different channels according to temperature, velocity or flow measurement. So that the data scanner can get its record the data automatically in the computer. Because while the system is running, today morning what the system shows for to take up the data from physical system is by Arduino system. So my system is different. It is a data scanner, channel based. So that data is available. 100 parts of the second could be separated. Okay. So as how much time lag, duration, etc. to be available, kind of system is calculate the same. So runtime graph will be available in the data scanner. So you can plot the graph as far as you can have pick up the data for the variation among 10 minute, 15 minute, hour or whatever may be your design plan. So that data scanner will coupled to the different measuring entities such as velocity measuring instrument, pressure drop, then relative humidity, etc. And then pick up that data, and available data can be stored within the computer space in a runtime simulation base. So your system is automatic. You did not to pick up and write down your data anywhere. So on second base that data available. Suppose you run your system for 1 hour, 10,000 data will be available for per second or a fraction of second as you selected time lag or time frame. That much data is available. So later on you can analyze all the data easily because the big database available with you in a good store form in Excel file. Some programming will definitely be do to channelize the kind of instrument to be used in a place.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, madam. Nowadays, with the use of Arduino, it is very easy to pack up the data from physical system. In olden days, some of the data scanner to be very costly in terms of 2 lakhs rupees to be start for 4 channel to 6 channel, 8 channel, 12 channel, etc. As number of channel go on increasing, we may have higher and higher price for that.
Okay, sir.
Okay, thank you, madam.
Okay.
Any other one having a question? So Mehta sir will have put his feedback link. I requested all of you to please provide your feedback all the day. Please log in the system with your login password if possible. If it is not possible, then to use the provided direct link. Direct link will be the last option because we have to record and monitor your attendance, and the same will be provided to the Atal portal. And attendance up to 80% they demanded a very crash value. So I requested all of you to be stay logging in the morning and to be stay till evening. In between, if any session due to some emergency may get lost, it is not a big problem. But it is not like that. Most of the lectures to be not in a presence anyhow, then we are in a dilemma whether to put you present for the STTP or absent. And another one on the last day, Friday, we have to put one FDP test in which 50 MCQ kinds of questions based on the topic to be covered under the various lectures taken during the days of STTP. So if you have a seriously attended lecture, I don't find any difficulty for you to appearing for the test. And the score, minimum score demanded by ETL portal is 60%. So minimum 30 questions should be answered correctly by you. Just like how you can fill the feedback link, similar kinds of test paper will be available to you. You just pin the correct answer and to submit it, and please mind the thing that 60% score at least should be available, so as the criteria to make attain you the certificate with automatic. After the end of STTP, you provide once more feedback to the ETL portal, will give you the certificate. So today actually my lecture is not earlier in the plan, but certain absenteeism from the expert due to their committee meeting at Delhi or by some way adjust our schedule accordingly. So I request you all, anyhow the schedule is to be modified, changed, revised, we get you intimate so that you can attend particularly the lectures you are interested more, because this energy and it is systems may be the part of most of universities in their syllabus, and we have called 80% people from the industry, which will give you most of case study style of teaching learning. So it is not that all the professors are your tutor, but some of the industrial persons, sometimes director, some persons may be a researcher abroad. So that will give you the most recent technology currently in the field. Our last lecture today at 3 or 3:15 will be from Nishit Desai sir. He is from Denmark University. So anyhow your question or a newer technology, current technology to be used these days can be explained by him. So I request all of you to don't miss the last lecture, as it is to be taken by very well-known researcher in Denmark.
Hello.
Yes, Mehta sir, please speak.
Sir, from Hiren Parikh.
Yes, Parikh sir, please speak.
Sir, in a feedback form, a participant's email ID can write down the utter's ID.
मेरी बात सुन. Participant email ID means email ID while you got registered to the ATL. Most of faculties I have seen, they will have their regular email ID, and for ATL they will generate new email ID. And they every time complain me that I have don't receive messages, WhatsApp group or link, etc. This what we know you, it's your email ID in ATL. Okay. And based on then we may create login ID. So your attendance is automatic with that login ID. अटल में जैसे आपने रजिस्टर किया, आपका एक स्पेसिफिक क्रम है, उसी क्रम का हमने आईडी बनाया है. यदि मैंने पहला रजिस्टर किया तो मेरा पहला होगा, दूसरा किया तो दूसरा होगा, उसके मुताबिक पूरा अटेंडेंस आने वाला है. तो आप डायरेक्ट लिंक से ज्वाइन हो सकते हैं. यू कैन ज्वाइन डायरेक्टली. It is your choice at last if it is not possible to log in through the ID. But if you log in through ID, then your attendance will be in permanent record with us without any further identification. Otherwise, we may have to identify what is your email, what is your name, from which institute you are belonging. So it is very tedious task for us as well as you also. Number of time we are disturbing you by calling you, what is your name, email, etc. thing. So to get rid of it, we advised for this week continuously login ID to this password. But some of the faculties having their lecture load in other IDs, in some worst condition, they may have joined through the direct link also. So this way your email ID anyhow means ATL. This week we have to talk only with the ATL ID, ATL email. If your ATL email is different, then you continuously log in and to see the news, because some news, some our WhatsApp group messages that is based on the phone number you provided in ATL. किसी के पास 2 व्हाट्सएप नंबर है लेकिन अटल वाला वो देखता ही नहीं, तो इट इज द मिस्टेक बाय हिम बिकॉज ही कैन गेट नॉट विद द मैसेजेस वी आर कन्वेड इन द ग्रुप. So you have to remember this Atal mobile and Atal, that is your identity for this time. Nowadays, now as per the timetable, we have the free time, some break in between. So I will give you the time to coming back to the meeting. Now from 2:45 onwards to 3 p.m. we have the. So I request all of you to come back again with the meeting. So now we have to end up the meeting, and after 15 minutes again we may join the same link, same login ID and same meeting. It is a better way to join the meeting is through calendar. Whenever you go through the team, I will have to share my screen. मैं अपना स्क्रीन शेयर करता हूं, देख लीजिए, आपको शायद दिखता हो. मेरा स्क्रीन दिखता है सबको?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay, okay. Now you have to always join through this calendar. In this calendar, we have put up the meeting every day with the same link. Okay, so it is better that every time you may join through this calendar. If you put here press calendar, means that screen is available. Then join option is there. Directly join with them. So to give you some free time, now I end up meeting here, and we will again meet for Nishit Desai sir, Denmark, again at 3 o'clock. Any other information from Bhatt sir?
Hello. No,
Hello.
no, sir.
Okay.
Participant can leave now.
Okay, now leave. Okay, thank you. Now we end up the meeting and again join the same at 3 o'clock. Thank you.